So you really got to get on that nicotine again, huh?
Coming at me. How crazy is this? We're fighting, huh? We're fighting.
We're fighting.
Why do you say that? You know, for somebody who has been off of caffeine for 6-7 months, off of alcohol for probably 2, off of nicotine for 2, you really want me to relapse, huh? Such an aggressive word. People would think I have a serious problem with.
Yeah. No, well, not all of the things. Like, you joked about having...
Oh, yeah, right. You walk by with your coffee under my nose every morning.
No.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. I remember one time when I was a kid, I had, like, the flu. Like, I was puking or whatever.
Talking about kids again.
And... and...
Whoa, match your water bottle.
My sister, just the most evil, got Panda Express and kept trying to put it in my face so I would smell it.
That's rude.
So rude. Because it would make me sick.
That's mean. You don't think I have the energy? I feel like I've been quite peppy.
No, the energy is fine. It's... I think with caffeine, and I don't want you to do the caffeine. That's why I say like the nicotine, because that's been a shorter, since you haven't done it. Caffeine, like you joked about like, oh, coffee would be nice. I would be like, no.
Yeah, you keep doing that. I don't understand that. You're acting like, I don't know. Like
Well,
it's like this is some like ginormous goal that I'm trying to reach, when I was mostly just like, I'm just going to try to not do it for a while.
Oh, yeah, totally. I get it. But I think in those moments where you're like, that would be nice. If I was you, I'd be like, tell me no.
Yeah.
Push forward.
Yeah.
Don't let it. Like, I think for me, if I was in this, I would want to have a, like, if I'm kind of like, well, maybe I'll start doing coffee again. And then, like, set a date, like, a week from then. Just to, like, confirm I for sure want to go off of the break, not like in the moment. Oh, that would be nice. And then you're like, pissed. I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
To where the nicotine, it's been less time. To where I feel like if you went and did that every once in a while, it wouldn't be as crushing of the number.
But why do I need to do any of it?
Because it's not it's not necessarily the peppiness. It's...
You're sounding dumb.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's hard for me to do things with you when you are just so upset about it.
So upset about it? You think I'm upset about doing this?
Yes.
I'm not upset. I just don't want to do it. Nicotine doesn't make me want to do it. Oh, creating things in her head. Hey.
No, it's not that at all.
Making stories up. Yay. No. Great job.
It has nothing to do with...
Best-selling artist. Yay.
It has nothing to do with...
#1 New York Times story. Yay.
It's way more evil than that. It has nothing to do with how I think it is, what's working for you. It's just I don't experience it as bad. Like, I don't have to feel the guilt as much because you don't show the signs of being, like, miserable.
I'll just sit like this.
So it's more for me than it is for you. You could feel the exact same way, but you're not showing the signs of hating me, so then I don't have to deal with it.
It's never been about you. Here's
no,
another...
it has nothing to do with me. I am just in the reciprocal of the vibe, the anger.
Another female thing. You act like you're doing it for me, but it's really for you.
I never acted like it was for you. I never said, you should get on nicotine because you would like it more. I said, you should get on nicotine so that I don't have to deal with you being like this. It's like you yelling in a room and going, there's nothing to do with you. Yeah, but I still have to be in a room where you're yelling. Like, you still affect the room. You still affect the space.
Hey, you're right. I do.
I know.
Remember that.
It's like what
because you have said to me, you don't really affect the room when you're in it.
When it's negative, it is.
Oh.
When it's negative, it does.
She came with the claws today.
It does.
I kind of like this. You should do this every podcast.
You're either
hey,
neutral.
We figured it out. You've been the problem. You have been not interesting. I have been fun and claws out. You need to come with claws out every time. What did I say last episode? Too nice.
Yeah.
You need to be meaner.
I don't feel good about this.
It's not about feeling good. It's about views, baby.
It doesn't brighten my soul yelling at you.
It's about
I
likes.
hate it. But also,
do you want the views?
not if it's all about me being mean to you. No, I don't.
On.
But
that's worth it to me.
see, evil villain. You don't add to a room, but you make it neutral or take away.
You see that? See what I live with? That's insane. We should do a poll. See how many people feel that way.
I would feel like family members would say that you add to it because they're delusional and they don't know any different.
Because they're trying to be nice.
No, not trying to be nice. I don't think they're around enough people to have the contrast.
I'll be honest. It's about... You gotta learn how to drink differently. You just have to learn how to do it. It's something that... You want to go claws out?
No.
0 to the most angry I've ever been in my life every time you drink water. Not even... Well, it's just water. You don't really do it with other drinks. You know what it is?
No, I can't really do that with other drinks.
Just stop using water bottles.
It does make it worse. I was going to say, like, this is the worst for the sound, but I knew you would just shut that down. But it is. It's worse with water bottles.
I never hear it when you drink out of a cup or like an open top.
Because especially the material, you can hear it sloshing
now we're getting
so
into...
much.
No.
Like, okay, whatever.
You could just drink differently, you know?
I know. It was something that was not corrected. I'm sure I've done this my whole life and no one told me about it.
I'm gonna comment below. Tell her to stop. Everybody tell her I keep pumping the volume up on yours whenever you drink water. It's just to make it annoying. Neutral or take away?
Not in mine. Well, never mind. Never mind.
You know what? I'm just being me in every moment.
Yeah. And
so if I'm... Can you let me say my stuff?
Yep.
If I'm happy, it'll be happy. If I'm pissed, it'll be pissed. I'm not hiding my emotions for you. That's just not going to happen. So sorry. Sorry for being me.
And some would say that is like a child.
Some would say, but others would say it's the coolest thing that somebody's ever done.
Okay, but can I flip it and switch it on you?
Can I correct it though? If I'm pissed, I'm not being a dick. I'm just being quiet and not responsive. Talk.
I'm just bursting at this.
You also...
I think correct.
Don't talk. You also are... It's what I said last episode. You know me better than anybody, that you know all of the signs. So you're more sensitive to me than everybody else.
I would agree with that. I would agree that I can, like, most people wouldn't pick up on. I'm like, he is boiling right now. And you're like, he's fine. He's the most serene person I've ever seen. I'm like, he hates you. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
he
see,
wants
I'm
to
good.
rip your face off, and they're like continuing to joke with you or talk to you. I'm like, he hates you. He hates you in this moment, and you can't see that. How can you not see that? But
I'm very good. See, you just admitted it. Thank you.
flip it and switch it to other people, though. If people are like that, where they are, when they're sad, you can tell they're sad. When they are upset, you can tell they're upset, and they bring that to a space. You're not okay with that.
I'm not okay with that.
So why is it okay when you do that?
I don't do that. That's what I corrected.
Okay, so maybe that's where, yes, I am more in tune to it, but you are better at hiding when you're angry, I think, than when, I don't know. You've gotten dramatically better, so I feel like I'm just like pulling at strings just for the views. For the pod, I'm pulling at strings. If I was just talking to you solo, I'd say, no, you're doing great.
Devious.
You're doing great. But you do get like your comments are a little
Spicier.
It's more like the tone and how you like spit it out.
I'm jabbing.
That I know, like your level of anger is maybe like, okay, so like if it happened on a work weekend, like just this past one, where you got mad at something and you said something over the headset, and I'm like, I know that he's upset just a medium amount, and I know that this is just like an accumulation of other things adding to this one moment. But then
I was not
when
hiding
someone
my
that
upset
we're
with that.
working with, they're like, he's like, geez. And I'm like, this wasn't, it seems like he's just mad about this one thing, but I know it's all of these things, but you are only seeing it. He's mad at this one thing. And it was because just over the headset, you're like, you said something in that more aggressive tone. And I'm like, it does seem like he's just mad at this tiny thing. So it seems crazier, but like you said, I know this is just a theme of this certain scenario is the cadence of a lot of things, which is why he's more annoyed about it. But that other person is just like, so he really just got mad at that? Not in like a judgment way, but kind of like, dang, he got mad at that. And I'm like, I know, but it's bigger than that.
I think I know what you're talking about. And you're right that there's more to that than just that singular moment, but it actually had nothing to do with the more.
It was just that singular moment that made you that mad.
Yeah.
Okay. So that person was fine with saying that then. I was thinking like, he thinks, or they think.
Now, you're not wrong about there being more and
Sure.
like whatever, but yeah.
You were just that mad at that situation. Okay.
Well, and it's like, yeah, I was mad, but I'm not. Like, yeah, they need to know.
But it wasn't said.
Not they need to know that I'm mad. They need to know not to do that.
Sure. But to an outside person, how you relay that information is not like cool, collected. I'm just like,
No.
yeah, they need to know that. It's like harping on it. Where we're like, okay, we get it. We know that we need to do something about it.
And that's the thing. I bet nobody did anything.
I did. I texted.
Oh, texted. Cop out.
I'm not. It's because also it's one mistake.
One too many.
It is. It's one mistake. I made a reminder, but it's something that's like not. I don't know. Like again, it's like it happens. Stuff happens. Is this the hill I'm gonna?
I think maybe I'm wrong about this, but the people there don't see me mad. Or the way that I've presented mad has always been in a has a humorous twist to it.
Sure.
It's like when I yelled at one of the other guys in the truck that we hire out. And the coworkers were like, I've never seen him get that mad.
This was one of those situations.
And it was like, yeah, that's me actually being mad. So when I'm doing the like calling you out for this and that and like being funny about it, that's not me being mad. So
and
now
I think it comes across as funny.
Yeah, I think so too. So there's a clear distinction of, oh, when he gets mad, it's like this. When he's not, like, this isn't him being mad. To where they rarely see me be mad.
I know. Yeah, I know. And this was just one of those situations where we could tell there was a difference.
Yeah.
And it came...
Because I was mad.
Yeah. 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 I don't even know what you're talking about anymore at this point.
Apparently I can't be mad. Another woman thing. Men can't be mad. It's ridiculous.
No, you can be mad.
I remember one time we got in a fight about that.
About you being mad?
Yeah.
I still don't know how I feel about it in certain situations. Like...
I'm not allowed to be mad, apparently.
No, you are allowed to be mad. But it was like what they were talking about on the podcast with, like, there's just a level of aggression and scary that's like, when can that be appropriate and not appropriate? Because, like, I think females, they don't necessarily get scary. They get annoying, and they're like, geez, like,
well, that's just
if you say ridiculous to me once...
I say it a lot. Ever since you said that, I say ridiculous a lot. So,
but do you? I don't think I hear you say it in that same context, though.
Well, but it's also much different from. Here we go again.
From a male to a female.
Male to female.
Yeah, because it sounds like whiny from a female. If you're just talking about it in the sense of like, yeah, that's ridiculous. But if you're going at someone saying this is ridiculous,
sure.
It seems like it's a different.
Yeah, I don't really do that. I'm usually like, I don't know. I don't really ever go at people.
No.
So.
To where when it's at someone's,
fuss.
like, you're basically saying like, the situation you're putting me in is ridiculous, or you're ridiculous.
Yeah.
To where it just like seems so belittling in that context.
Yeah.
Versus just like, this situation is kind of ridiculous. But you're not like imposing that on someone or putting that to that person. But for females, it doesn't really get scary. I think, I don't know if it's just like the simple size thing for men, like men in their tone, like when they can get angry or yell, it seems scarier than when a female does it.
Well, there is, I mean, I don't know. It does seem like there's such a problem when men get angry, but there's not a problem when I guess there's a problem when women get angry. Like you said, it just looks like annoying.
Because there's,
like all the
to me,
Karen
there's less
videos.
of a threat when it's a female. Like, you're not scared for your safety with a female doing it. I would be scared for my safety with a male getting angry. Because I'm like, I don't know what they would do when they get this aggressive.
What if it's not angry at you, though?
It's still, like, I can't trust how that thing is going to unfold. Like, what if they just get mad and they throw something or they hit something super... Like, the whole situation seems unstable.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and maybe that's also like a bad placement on men, is we want you to be stable at all times. So if there's a little bit of, ooh, they don't have control, or it seems like they don't have control in this moment, it just automatically signals to us like, this is scary.
Yeah.
Because like they're not thinking clearly potentially.
Yeah,
To
but
our
you
women,
also...
we just suspect they're never thinking clearly.
Huh?
To our women, we just assume they're never thinking clearly. So like, this is your natural state. Like, you're comfortable here. In chaos and whatever.
Women
To our
also...
men, we're like, you have a handle on this, and right now you don't. So normally you wouldn't hurt me or do something damaging, but you're not in a regular state. So all bets are off. And if you even attempt to, you're way bigger and stronger. I don't have a chance.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, especially if there's a history of that. If there's no history of that, I just don't get. I don't get it.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
don't know how to describe it.
I guess there's always the possibility, but it's crazy coming from my head that it's like, I would never do anything to you.
Yeah, and it's like rationally I understand that.
Like, I'm never like, oh, I'm so mad. Where is she? I'm just like searching around the house. It's like 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with you either.
No, yeah, I know.
That's what I've always wondered
know.
about those situations. I'm like, is something happening where he's getting upset and it has nothing to do with her, and then he goes and finds her? Or is it like she did something and now he's reacting to that?
I mean, if you want to get really in the weeds, I feel like when they display or talk about like abuse,
Yeah.
it's all of the things. Just like when they get angry, they have learned as a child to take it out through actions. So then that is just their person to take it out on. It's not that the person is making them do that.
Which, how wild is that?
Bad parenting.
I mean, just
Bad childhood.
just to think as an adult, like, oh, I'm so mad, I need to hit somebody else. Like, what? It's like,
Yeah.
obviously, it doesn't make any sense. That's the whole point of it. But like in my head, that's not the equation. They didn't do anything.
I think it's just
like
that
you
release.
you dropped a plate on your foot, and it's like, oh, I'm mad now. It's like, no, what it was the plate. If anything, you'd take it on the plate. That's the equation.
Yeah.
But these people are so screwed up in the head that it isn't.
Yeah, because I think it's the point of like, well, I don't know. I don't know what the psychology of it is. Of like, if you have to do something to another like maybe it's like more of the reaction that they get, like kind of like a bully. Like, they're looking for the reaction of that. Like they're hurting inside, so they want to see physical hurt. I don't know.
We need Aaron Briggs on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know what it is. It's just something that like is wired. And maybe I'm not common with this. We have to have other females responding to this question, or this conversation. It's just something like innate to like, be aware.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. And I think it is also when you're not the person that is getting mad, it all looks ridiculous.
Sure.
It's like, why are you getting so mad about this?
And I think it also depends on your relationship, whether it's like with a previous relationship or if it was like with how you were as a kid. Like, what is your experience with people and specifically men getting angry? Like, what is the follow-up? Is it they yell and they throw things? Is it they leave? Is it they have a weird response and then they like have weird actions that go with it? Like,
so do you think it's
almost wiring? Like, when a man gets mad, this is what happens.
Do you think that is... So do you think if you grew up with them yelling and then you're with somebody who does the same thing, that's more comfortable than, say, they're like, I need to go, like, be somewhere for 6 hours? Like you said, some people yell, some people throw things, some people, just leave.
I don't know if it's a comfort thing or if it's more like that is what's going to trigger you. Like, that.
Like, do you think you would be more freaked out if what you grew up with was yelling and the person yelled? Or if the person did something else? Because then it's like, oh, I haven't seen that type of mad before. I don't understand that or know that. That would be my thought process. is like,
I don't know.
The yelling is at least the same, so I understand that. But this person, like, when they're super pissed, they get like weirdly silent, and that freaks me out more. Or is it like, well, at least they don't yell because that like stirs up history in me?
I'm just guessing. I'm sure it depends on the person. I'm sure that there are both responses to it. And I bet it depends on, like, as a kid and that was happening, was your relationship to it, like, say if it was your dad that did that, but then your mom comforted you, then maybe it's more of like, I relate this to, like, I can at least predict what's going to happen. This, I'm aware, like, I know what's going to proceed with this. Or were you kind of on your own and then you're like, this is always going to bring up uncertainty and fear in me. But I think a lot of people actually, say if it is your father that did that, I think a lot of times then in relationships, and not talking about the kids thing, but she brought that up, the Erica Commissar brought it up in the podcast, like, there's that specific phase when you're a kid where you start to, like, when all, like, boys want to marry their moms and vice versa. Like, you're starting to develop those relationship patterns and your safety mechanisms with relationship, that if those things are happening during that time, you will then search for a partner that will be angry at you or that will yell or that will respond in that same way, because in a way you're trying to, like, heal that. Or you think, like, this is what love is. This is what having someone that is a parental, supposed to be there for me, that's what the action is they actually yell at me. So then you'll find someone that yells at you and you go, they love me.
Mm. Yeah, so it's like the whole joke of, like, the girl's trying to just find her dad or whatever.
Yeah, and it's apparently it's both.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on how they respond and what, maybe even age you were experiencing that, what your comfort level is or what you look for or not look for.
I just still don't understand why men can't be mad ever. I don't get it. I don't get, like, I understand the fear thing, but then that's also irrational, because it's like, okay, so there's fear, but 90% of people don't, like, get physical. So that's a random number, but a majority of people don't get physical. So then what?
What do you think is the reverse, just so that I can try to understand it more? What do you think is the reverse for females? Like, what do you think a behavior that females have that is very, like, it's never acceptable?
I mean, I don't have a thing, but are you asking, like, what society seems to think?
Yeah, what is society, like, put on them that kind of in the same way, where it's like, there's definitely a gender
Yeah. What
priority.
Would it be? Maybe, like, I mean, the kind of the reverse, like the I don't know, it's not like whiny, but like the sad, complainy kind of, like, they always want to have a conversation about what just happened. It's like, why do we gotta have a fucking conversation about everything?
But that's different, though, because I feel like women don't see that as a negative. Only men see that as a negative with females.
I don't see being mad as a negative.
Okay, sure, you don't. But do you think every man that you asked, would they across the board be like, it's okay to be angry and yell and freak out and throw things?
I didn't say those things. New York Times bestseller, number 2.
And okay, so maybe that's the problem, is my understanding of men being angry is not, I'm angry.
But that's not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying, yeah, I get mad and then I maybe raise my voice or yell.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You said throw things, beat people up.
I'm not saying
you
all
went through
of
a
it.
whole litany of stuff.
One of the things.
It's like, I don't throw things. I used to. I don't throw things. You throw things. You want to talk about throwing things? You throw things.
Rich, when was the last time I ever?
Probably yesterday.
No. I couldn't even tell you the last time I got that angry.
It's so funny watching you throw things too. It's like you don't throw things. Yeah, you just go like.
Just
like
the
you
most
just don't
gentle way to do it.
You don't
too.
care about it dropping. That's you throwing things. Just...
I'm still like so like.
Oh my god.
Trying to be so aggressive, but it cannot be at all.
Didn't you say in California one time you like threw a plate or something?
In California, or like
Yeah.
I just said that I did that in California. Did I do it in California? Oh, as a kid?
No. I thought there was one time, or no, maybe it was as a kid.
Yeah, I would throw stuff
But you like threw a plate.
multiple times. But it would always be when
Now
no one
who's crazy.
like. I would never do it around people.
Oh,
That's
so
like-
much better.
Well, that's like if
I
people
don't
would
drink around people.
No,
just
I'm
at
not
home
saying-
in gallons.
I'm not saying it's better. My anger of those kinds of things is way more secretive. Like, I feel like around people, I was always like, it's fine. But as soon as I get in the car, I'm going to freak out.
And this is, again, maybe just where I know you well. You're not secretive about it. I know when you're angry. But because it's
the
around
act
people,
outs.
you don't act out.
Yeah, the act outs, I won't do that
Which
in front of people.
maybe that's not good. Some would say that's worse than what I do.
But
You're not letting it out. You're pushing it down.
oh, classic Courtney K.
Strong tricep.
Classic Courtney K. But the only thing that I could think of with women where it's not necessarily a behavior thing, but it's a like society, you can't do that because you're a woman. To me, it's again relating to the kid stuff. Like, it's way worse for a mom to not be there for their kids or abandon their kids than it is for a dad. Societally. Like, it looks
Whoa.
way worse for a mom to be neglective of a kid.
Yes, 100%.
To where-
I agree with that. But I don't think that is even close to the same thing as what we're talking about.
I think it is only from my perception of why we have a problem with men being angry is it goes against like what we have built up our perception of biology to be. Where like women are supposed to love and nurture and like care for their kids. Men are supposed to be stable and structured and like have their shit together and like not let their emotions get the best of them. Like being emotional is a female thing is what we have created. And maybe we have created that based off of biology or we have adjusted our biology to be that way. I don't know what came first.
Chicken
But
or the egg?
I think when we see females not have that towards their kids, again, going back to like, we are searching for like, where are the crazies? Where is there a crack in the system? Because that person could affect the tribe. So if there's a mother that is neglecting her kid, or like, there's something wrong with her. Same with a man that shows emotion and lets it get the best of him, is how we perceive it. We're like, he can't be trusted. He could go on a rampage and screw our whole tribe.
The only part I disagree about is I would say that with the man getting angry, probably most females would say that that's not okay. Probably most men would say that's fine. With the female abandoning her children, everybody across the board would say that that's not okay. That's why I don't think those are a good comparison.
But would you say that most men would say that it's okay to do that, like, in all situations, like even in front of a female. I would say that maybe men think it's okay to get angry by themselves or with other men, but to do it in front of a female or female and children.
Well, and to clarify, getting angry, I'm saying like you get mad, you maybe raise your voice. I'm not saying get physical. I'm not saying throw things. I'm not saying any of that sort of
Correct.
stuff.
Yeah.
Of like you were hammering in a nail and you missed and you hit your finger and you went, God damn it. And you got up and were like, oh, that hurt. Ah, you're just pissed. That is what I mean by mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine in front of female and children.
And do you think other people would agree with that? Like majority of people would agree with that?
I don't think most females would. I think if you asked most men away from females, they're not around females, they would say yes.
Okay, this is very in the weeds, but do you think the response from men would change depending on the location of where you're asking them? Like regionally.
Oh, of course.
So like, do you think because where we grew up, that's why you think it's okay?
I mean, I would still say that majority of the country would feel that way. I think I could be I think I could grow up in a lot of areas and that be the situation. And the reason I think it's okay is because, well, what do we expect? Nobody to ever get mad? That's crazy.
No, we don't expect men to get mad. We don't expect men to get mad.
That's crazy. They're the ones who get mad.
We don't expect men to get mad, but like fully absorb it in.
I don't. That's crazy to me. We're designed to get mad. The mad this is where I don't understand the mad thing. I don't get it because it's like I just don't understand it okay, so what's the goal? To make sure that every man ever doesn't get mad ever? Well, that's just not going to happen. You're not going to succeed at that. So then the only other option is to have people get comfortable with men getting mad sometimes. And I'm not saying men should be mad 24/7 and freaking out and screaming and all that. I'm saying these random moments where somebody gets upset and they show it in a non-harmful way. It's like, I'm not talking about they get mad and they start berating other people for what happened. I'm not saying they go start abusing other people. I'm just saying you slip and hit a thing and, oh, I'm pissed. You know how many times my dad would get mad about something so stupid? And it's like, yeah, but it had nothing to do with anybody. It's like, yeah, that's frustrating and that should make you angry. That is the correct response. And to me, I'm like, children should see that because that is a natural emotion that is in our world.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't see it chronically, but they should see it because then when they come across somebody who gets mad, they have no idea what's going on or how to deal with it. Like, to me, it's just like you're trying to cover all the bad stuff up in life. And it's like, that's just not how this works. That's not how we should be doing it. We should become more resilient and have like more toughness. Not let's cover up all the bad so that we can all skate through life without any problems ever.
Well, okay, so then maybe that's something that like evolution needs to continue with is for probably a very long time, we have seen men having any sort of emotions as a weakness. So we're not seeing it as a strength of, yes, you can get angry and continue with your day, like follow through with it, of dealing with it responsibly.
Yeah.
To where maybe through time, men haven't been able to do that because they've been shunned away from feeling any sort of anything because that's weak and not manly to do that. So then it's not being practiced. So it is coming out in weird, overly aggressive ways.
Look at what ends up happening.
That because we're not doing it in small doses and getting the practice, we're not seeing it as a regular emotion that you can be dealing with it and there's some accountability for it. It is, we have already pre-labeled it as, if a guy does that, they are weak. So AKA stay away from them.
Yeah. So then guys' response is, I need to make sure I don't do that. And now all of this stuff comes out in weird ways.
Right. Yeah. So maybe that is, it's okay to be angry. We just need to understand that there might be some grace period where, the same way that for women, like, we're figuring out how to have a voice and speak up. That doesn't mean that we need to be
annoying about
rude about it. Yeah. Like, you're supposed to listen to me. It's like, no, have something to say, and say it with great communication
and not annoying.
And we need to practice how to do that.
Yeah.
Not like, well, you're supposed to listen to me because I'm a female and I have rights now and I have all the power. Like, no, bring something to the table of substance. Practice that.
Yeah.
Practice how to communicate in a room without being whiny and drawing attention just based off of negative behaviors. Same thing in reverse. We need to have that grace period, I think, maybe of not immediately going to, this is scary, they're weak, I'm in trouble. Because maybe how many decades ago, which was not that long, men or your husband getting angry does always have consequences. It means maybe hurting the children. It might mean alcohol abuse. It might be abuse on the wife, or just like weird behaviors of they're leaving or they're shutting down or whatever. We need to evolve out of that. And I think that's just, we got to allow time for that.
And I would say a majority of people, that is the case. That's fine. It's not super consequential. It's not a detrimental thing. I think people talk too much now. So you need something to talk about. So I don't know. We've talked about and created a problem that's not really there. It's like most men don't get abusive. That's just the fact. But when a couple do, now we have to have this giant conversation about it. And then it's this overcorrection of men can't get angry or mad about anything.
Sure.
Towards like, it was a couple of people. And when you're talking about 350 million, yeah, a couple people ends up being a lot, but still, in the majority of men, that's not the case. It's like the same thing with women. It's like most women are not annoying.
Yeah.
There's a couple that are very annoying. And of course, they are the loudest, and that's what you hear about. So now the whole narrative is women are annoying. It's like, well, no, not really.
Yeah.
It's just the few that are loud, just like the men thing. Most men are not abusive, but there's a few that are.
Well, and I'm not, abusive is to the extreme, because I would say throwing something on the ground or yelling that's not being abusive.
Right.
But that's like, that would be a consideration of, they didn't have their shit together.
And that's where we disagree.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, that is still something maybe that we're needing to, well, like you said, maybe you're saying most people would not have a problem with that.
I'm saying that that's not a problem, and we don't need to do anything about that.
Okay.
If I hit my finger with the hammer and I yell, God damn it, and I toss the hammer to the side, there's no problem with that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, if my kid or my wife is sitting there and I threw the hammer at them, now that's a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that should not be a problem. That is a regular emotion.
Sure.
And that is okay. There should be the like, yeah, that would be upsetting. That would piss me off if I hit my finger, hammered my finger.
Yeah.
That's where I think like men get that, but I don't know. Women don't seem to get that because of the fears that they maybe have, which is understandable. But at the same time, those are your fears. I'm not going to do anything to you. I have fears over you being annoying. Doesn't mean that you got to change that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't get the anger thing.
Yeah, I wish there was like a I don't know. I've never had this conversation with anybody else. Like with other females. I haven't. I don't know what their experience is with it or if they have issues with it. I don't know.
I could guess
That they wouldn't have a problem with it.
that they would.
I don't know. I bet it depends on their experience as a kid. And their experience, especially with the male, their relationship with their dad.
Well, that's a lot of just relationships in life in general is you meet somebody and you're with them and they start showing characteristics that you don't like of how
Your caregiver.
Of how you grew up, and they immediately like that. Like say you take somebody that I don't know, like say you take a dad that was a drinker, and now when the daughter meets somebody and they're like, let's go have a drink, they're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be a huge drinker. And it's like, he maybe has one drink and he's good. And he's like, all right, let's move on. And they continue to be, but every time he has a drink, it's doing this thing. It's like, he doesn't have a drinking problem. So there's nothing to fear.
And this is why I think this conversation is interesting, because you're having that mix of, which I don't know, I think in society now with men and women, like this is a weird conversation to have of so much of that is working through your childhood and your development and what happened, what didn't happen. So you can try to make that connection to, but this isn't my parent. Like I'm just seeing behaviors and that's freaking me out, but that's freaking me out. That's something that I need to work on. In the same respect of what is that biological instinct of like, listen to like, this could be putting you in danger, or vice versa of like, this woman could be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that is it's a balance that you need to do, but that could be difficult. But I think you have to understand your wiring to know how are you going to respond to those situations. Because like what we said in the last episode of like, I want to be over prepared for these things because I don't feel super confident in those conversations, or like dealing with maybe even an argument with a male. So, but I'm like a people pleaser, want to be nice, to where I would maybe put myself in more dangerous situations because I am worried about like, well, they're going to see me as mean.
Mm-hmm.
To where it's like, okay, my wiring is like, when someone's mad, just give in and like have everything's fine, everyone be fine. So then I'll put myself in more dangerous situations and not see the red flags because I'm like, well, but I don't want that person to be mad.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah,
I understand why I do that.
Yeah.
But
oh, you want to break into my car? Well, I don't want you to be mad. So here, come into my car.
yeah, because how I'd be like, why are you breaking into my car? That like confronting someone
Somebody's
with that?
breaking your car. Like, here's the keys. Don't be mad. Just take my car.
Yeah. So I think it's so individual, but it is so.
Oh, this rope hurts. Tied around my wrist. But I don't want you to be mad, so I guess it's fine.
I don't want to like put an inconvenience on you, but like, do you think at some point when it works for you, do you loosen it? Unless it like takes out your agenda. I don't
really?
want
The trunk? Could I just sit in the back seat? I won't make a fuss.
Yeah, it's like, but then you're a female and you're like needy, so just get in the trunk. Yeah, I think it's so personal with what you do and how you respond to those situations. But I think a lot of it stems from that push and pull of what did you get as a kid? What are your instincts as a female? We're also still like biologically so aware of our constraint, like our not matching that with men.
This is where we're a great balance, because you're totally right. And then on my point of view, I go, and also grow up. You're an adult. You can think freely. Think about what the right answer is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what I just said. Hey, okay, your dad was an alcoholic and now you're with somebody who's not an alcoholic and they just have a drink every now and again. Use your brain. Oh, they're not an alcoholic. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need to continuously let this thing trigger me when it's not even the situation.
Yeah. Which that is so doable, because you think like...
And the same thing happens in reverse. Men do the same shit.
Oh, totally.
This is why men leave women, because they cooked a casserole that is kind of like one that their mom made. They're like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
my mom was controlling, so now I need to be doing whatever I want.
Yep. Yeah. She asked if I could do the dishes because she was going to work. Well, controlling lady.
Yeah.
Just like my mom. I need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But then, like, some people have that where they have no connection to that at all. Which I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. like, take the alcoholic example. Like, if a parent is an alcoholic, and you would think, like, they're never going to drink. Or, like, they would have such a problem with drinking, and they have zero problem with drinking.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't faze them at all.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's so weird that you don't have that connection.
Well, and I feel like in a lot of ways,
or whatever the scenario is.
I would guess to say most of the time you see the same more than you see the opposite. So if the parent was an alcoholic, the kid probably ends up being an alcoholic. If the parent's obese, the kid's obese.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's rarely the...
It's more learned behavior versus scared of the behavior.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I guess that would kind of make sense.
That's at least true in the like overweight, obese thing.
Or like people getting in trouble with the law.
Yeah, that too.
Like my dad being a cop, you'll see generation after generation dealing with the same families.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. That it didn't like scare him straight.
Mm-hmm.
It is so much more ingrained. Like you believe that to be the correct behavior.
Yeah. I think you have most of you is like your parents, but then you probably have these few things that you took the left turn. Probably because something happened and you were like, I'm not going to be that way or let that happen or whatever. So then you like really put your foot down about that certain topic. Mm. And then that's that person's trigger with other people. Is because you put your foot down about this and weren't going to be like your parents. Now when you see other people or you see your significant other do something like it, that sends you through a loop because you are seeing your parent do it and you decided long ago that wasn't okay. That now you're putting that onto them.
Mm-hmm. Being an adult is so interesting.
See, I don't need nicotine. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm smart as shit.
I never said that you weren't smart without it.
Go to the beginning. You're so stupid. You're
an
idiot.
That's what you said.
You.
I It has nothing to do with the topics you're bringing up, your intelligence level, how you're delivering it. It's not even like the less of pizzazz. It's just the attitude. Don't like that with the attitude. But that is interesting. Because even that, you have to do some digging of, do I believe this because I think that, or because that was told to me as a kid that I should think that way?
Oh yeah.
You know, like,
Well, you can take anything and choose to believe it. People think the earth is flat. You can find data for that. You can find arguments for whatever you want to find. So with this whole mad conversation, if we're just constantly told that men should never be mad and show anger, and then all of the females are like, I agree, because they have this fear inside of them about it, and most of them have probably been in some sort of situation, whether it's with their dad or another male, that they got mad, and that's scary. They're going to just believe that this should be outlawed. Any man who gets angry should be behind bars. We need to get this out of our society. But that doesn't make sense in the grand picture. You're going to just completely get rid of an emotion? That's like me saying nobody can ever be sad. It's negative. It doesn't do any good for anybody. We need to outlaw sadness. No, I think the response is probably we need to learn how to deal with it, and other people need to learn how to like cooperate around that. Not just we get rid of an emotion. That's psychotic. Because then look at what's happened. We try to get rid of anger and weird stuff comes out.
Yeah.
We try to get rid of sadness. How much weird stuff's going to start coming out?
Yeah.
Maybe some great art, but
Well, I think it comes out stronger than it would have originally.
oh yeah.
They're like, no, we're sad, and half the population is depressed because they're like, you told me that I couldn't be sad. I'm going to make you believe that I am.
Yes. I agree with that. And this is that like pendulum swing thing. That's what I hope does not happen with society now, is that we do that, because my feeling is we're talking about it way too much. People are diagnosing themselves as depressed, or everybody's depressed now. And it's because we are just constantly talking about how I'm sad all the time. Everybody's sad. Mm-hmm. I'm sad. This is what makes me sad. What do I need to fix? My life is terrible. Like, it's all, everybody's in therapy. It's all just going to therapy, talking about how your life sucks, even though you make $250,000 a year.
You're practicing being sad.
Exactly. To where the pendulum swing back is what you're talking about. We outlaw sadness and depression, and nobody has it. And I think we just end up having the same result, where everybody's depressed, everybody's on antidepressants, but they're pushing it down now. It goes back to like the 19 whatever of like, you don't talk about feelings, you toughen up, you push everything down, and it's like you just keep eating those antidepressants, or you drink a shit ton of alcohol, you get high as shit all day long, like you just drug yourself. There needs to be the middle. And that's the same thing with anger.
Yeah.
If you go one way or the other, it's terrible. But if you just go right in the middle and you have some sort of like, I mean, it's common sense. Just be freaking normal about it. Like, it's not a ginormous, there's no reason we need to talk about this for an hour. There's absolutely no reason. It's very simple. It's fine that you're angry sometimes. Don't take it out on other people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then the people that are around angry people, deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you don't think you'd be pissed if you hit your finger too? It's fine. Like, people can get angry. It's an emotion. You don't get pissed at somebody for being happy.
You sometimes get mad when I get too happy. No, you don't. But I think that's also like learning yourself. Like it comes back to the accountability thing of like, what are your tendencies more so? Like when I was growing up, maybe now, but I think way less, my go-to emotion was anger. Like if I felt anything not happy, it was pissed. I didn't really do sad. I didn't really do the shades. I went, I'm happy or I'm angry. So knowing that about myself, what can I do about that? Or like even hormonally going, okay, right now, like I know I go in literal cycles that I know during certain times I could just cry at any time. Are those true? Like I'm actually sad about those things? No. I am just, my hormones are doing something crazy. It's just what it is. So not making judgments, not making decisions in those moments, because I know in my head how I label them is like, this isn't really real. My body's just testing some stuff out, but I'm not actually sad about this thing. And that's okay. Or what I used to do, and I still kind of do, shove it all down. So when I do get angry, the outburst is an outburst every single time. So if I know that going, okay, maybe I need to learn how to regulate this and work through the little stuff more frequently and quicker, or just like more seamlessly, because then when something silly happens and it's a level this and my response is a level this, that's when it looks weird. Yeah. That's when it's like, there's some weakness there, because it is like my reaction does not match what happened. So I look like a crazy person.
I do agree with caveat. I think sometimes the silliest of thing is what pisses people off the most.
But I think that happens when that is what breaks the pile. Like that was built up of a bunch of silly stuff. It's not, you're cool, right, calm, collected, and
yeah, I agree.
Something falls off the counter. It's like, that was like, I could not handle one more thing.
Yeah.
And I think that is like a repetition of daily stuff that you don't address. So then the tiny stuff freaks out. Or if it is like, these behavior or these things cause me to go red. Mm-hmm. It's like, we'll work on that, because, okay, so you said something that I didn't like and I stormed out and I didn't talk to you for a little bit. Like that reaction does not match what happened. But if I know when people call me out on stuff, or when people say something that I don't agree with, I fire off. Okay, I need to learn how to behave better in those situations, because my anger does not match what happened.
It's like living with landmines placed everywhere. Like you're just walking around hoping that somebody doesn't step on one of your landmines. And then you freak out because they brought up, I don't know, vaccines, and landmine goes off, and now you're freaking out all of a sudden. It's like, that's a crazy way to live.
Yeah. And I think it's because you're pushing it down. So maybe that is, circling back, maybe that is a part of the negatives of how we're setting men up, or setting boys up to be men, is we're saying, push it all down, keep it in, be tough. So then when something to the outside eye seems kind of silly and you respond so big about it, we're like, that was kind of crazy. But it's like, but because there was so much built up, that wasn't the thing that he's actually that angry about. It's all of this stuff and then that thing. It's seeing the response not match what caused the anger. Yes, I get, you hammer a nail, like that hurts. But if it was like such a large expression of anger, there's that confusion there because of so much built up.
Yeah.
It's like the overreaction is what is scary about it. And same thing with females. It's like, Really? You got that? Like, you're crying about this?
Yeah.
Or,
Well,
like,
and
you get this worked up? It's like, because this isn't the actual thing.
and I think that's something that maybe could be better communicated of like, yeah, I freaked out because this happened, then this happened, then this happened, and then now I dropped my whole plate of food. Towards like, that's more understandable than just seeing the plate of food drop and then freak out.
Yeah.
But men don't like to talk. They don't like
Right.
to say those things. And then a lot of the times, even if they do say all those things, the female's still like, but you shouldn't be getting that mad. It's like, ugh. Walk a mile in my shoes. I mean, come on. It's like, put yourself in other people's perspective sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that would piss me off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But people can't do that for some reason. I don't get it. They can't understand why that would make somebody cry or that would make somebody yell. And I just don't get that.
I think we put the responsibility on other people that we don't do ourselves. Because, like, breaking down that situation, and we probably should end soon. Breaking down that situation, it does kind of seem like, well, why weren't you evaluating all those little things? Like, why did you let it build up? But would I do that?
No.
It's like, no, I'm going to let it pile up.
Why wouldn't you do all those things? Because life.
Yeah.
I don't have time to sit there and delineate every little situation that happens. I'd be exhausted. And it's not worth it. And it's like, and also, okay, so I didn't do all those things and then I got mad and yelled. Is that a huge consequence? I don't think so. If that is happening every single day, yes. Then
Yeah.
fix it. But that's a different situation.
Right.
I think what we're both talking about is the, I don't know, once a month. God damn it, it gets yelled.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, are you kidding me?
Hungry. Yeah. Yeah. I can work on that.
You could work on that. You just hide. You don't do anything about it.
No. And I would like to think in those situations I've gotten way better at just like, yeah, he's mad.
Yeah.
Like, I'll let you experience that.
Yeah.
In however way you want. Like, if you want to bitch about it, if you want to yell about it, if you want to, like, when you just go off and you're just like, everything is terrible, da 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 da. I just, yep.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, stop being angry.
Yeah, you don't do that at
I'm not
all.
being, ah!
You don't do that at all. It used to be we have a 9-hour conversation about it at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, you want me to stop being mad, and then you're keeping me awake till 3 a.m. talking about this. Even more mad.
I was young. I didn't know what was happening.
Yes.
I didn't know what was happening.
Oh, me too. Oh my God. All right, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Okay.
See you later.